Okay, so let's talk about the separable differential equation. And I'm actually going to do one here, and then we'll go over the ones from the homework. But there is a standard way to do this on the AP exam. There will be a problem like this on the AP exam. It will probably be like a part of a free response question, okay? And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to show you how it's graded exactly the same way every time regards to the problems. And then when we look at the homework problems, you can see if you would get full credit. All right, so let's take a look at this. Problem was from the 2018 exam, and you started with something like this. dy dx is 1/3 x times y minus 2 squared. Now, this is probably a little more tricky than the homework problems last night, but I want you to pay attention here, because the way I'm going to do this is the way you're going to do every one of these problems. All right, and so let's see if we can take this method that I'm about to show you and apply it to every problem. Okay, step one. The first step in all of these problems is you want to separate, if I can spell separate the variables. And I feel like we've talked about this before earlier this year. But we want to separate the variables. That means I want my y's and dy's on one side, x's and dx's. So let's do that here. So it looks like I'm going to have dy over y minus 2 squared, 1/3 x dx. Okay, good. That's going to be a point. All right, that will be 1 point for all these problems. They're all worth about 5 points. 2, we want to integrate, and then you want to make sure you use a c. So integrate with c. Oftentimes, you'll be given an initial condition. You want to integrate first with c and then use the initial condition. And in this problem, I need to go back and look at this and see what the initial condition was. The initial condition here was 1, 0. And we know that f of 1 equals 0. Okay, so that's your initial condition. All right, so let's take a look at this. Integrate. Okay, well, let's do the right side. Generally, one side will be a lot easier than the other side. So this is going to be 1/3 x squared over 2 plus c. You only have to have one c. Okay, there's going to be a c here, but they get combined into that c over there. Okay, what about this one? Common mistake. As soon as students see dy over an expression like this, they go natural log. But this is not natural log, is it? This is a -2 power. So when you integrate this, you're going to have y minus 2 to the -1 with a negative out in front of it. Okay? And so that's when you integrate with the c. Now, next point. And this is usually a 2 point. So on the AP exam, this is like a 1 point. That's usually 2 points. Now, watch this. Plug in the initial condition. This is a whole point, and you don't even have to solve for anything. You just have to show the grader that you use the initial condition. So watch this. -1 over 0 minus 2 equals 1 squared over 6 plus c. Done. Now I've gotten 4 out of 5 points. Everything else is now 1 point. Isn't that cool? Solving for C and then solving for Y. That's just 1 point. So you need to remember this when you do these problems, especially if you're short on time on the exam. Separate, integrate, write C, plug in the initial condition, and then go on to the next problem. Because all the work that I'm going to do now, 1 point. Okay, so what is this? That's a -1 over -2, so that's 1/2 equals 1/6 plus C, so 3/6 minus 1/6. So C is 1/3. So then we're going to say, okay, -1 over y minus 2 equals x squared over 6 plus 1/3. And then let's solve for y. Okay? So, reciprocal, both sides, maybe multiply by y minus 2, divide by x squared plus 6. Maybe this might be easier here. Come on, algebra kids, help me out here. X squared plus 2 over 6. So now I can just do the reciprocal of both sides, right? So I'll have negative y minus 2 equals 6 over x squared plus 2. I mean, at this point, you're kind of on your own. You guys are as good as I am at this. And this gives me, let's see, I need to multiply by -1, so it's going to be -6. And then, so negative y, so I'm going to say 2 minus 6 over x squared plus 2. Does this sound right? Equals y. But here's the thing. Everything in green, that's 20% of the points. Everything in black is 80% of the points. So step 4, solve for y. That's 1 point. And that's generally how we grade this. So all of this, 1 point. Okay? And this is how you do a separable differential equation.